Well, so this is going to be difficult. I'm Grimsbeard. I play a bunch of video games. I podcast. I have a website at grimsbeard.com and this YouTube channel. Chances are, if you're seeing this, you're probably either a friend of mine from gaming, family member, or somebody who's just stumbled upon this in some random way. But either way, I thank you for watching the video. This is going to be a difficult video for me to do. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be fun for me to get through. I'm going to be talking about a very personal subject that I'm dealing with right now, and that is this. As you can tell, I am a very large man. As of 2 days ago, I weighed 431 pounds. That's a scary amount of weight. That's amount of weight where you look at your life at 39, which is my age, and you consider your lifespan not in decades, but in years. And I don't like that. It actually terrifies me. So I'm going to attempt to be as honest and sincere about this as I can, and to explain what it is that I plan on doing and what I'm going about. I've been trying to get this video done for a long time now. I've put it off. I've told myself many different reasons why that it's going to take time to do, and all it really is that I've just been a little terrified of actually doing it, because not only of the backlash but of the commitment that I'm going to try and explain to you, the viewer, be that you're either a supporter or somebody looking to go through the same path as I am, but try to explain to you from my perspective what it's been like. Now, you gotta understand that I didn't always look like this. In fact, you're going to see actually right over here a picture of me when I was younger. Actually, you're going to see a few pictures of me when I was younger. I'll pop up what I looked like as a teenager and so forth. As I grew up, I wasn't the most athletic kid out there, but I was adventurous. Skateboarded a lot. I rode my bike a ton. I tell this story to all my friends that I used to ride my bike like 35 kilometers each way to go to a neighboring city in the summertime when I was a teenager. No, not all the time, but frequently enough that it's kind of impressive. At least insofar, like, I didn't have a car or anything, so I had to get to go see people. I wanted to see my friends and hang out in the city, so that was my way in. Sometimes I'd hitchhike, depending, in the winter definitely, but otherwise, yeah, and don't hitchhike now, I wouldn't suggest it. But yeah, I moved to Ottawa in 1998 at Christmas time. You'll see another photo up here of what I look like just a few months later. That's my buddy Mike. Mike's a good guy. Mike and I have had a relationship with one another since I was in grade 9, and he and I see each other frequently at the moment. And he had talked about how it is that I've gotten much bigger, and it struck home. Like it hurt, to be honest. He doesn't know this. I don't think he realizes that what he said stung. And I don't fault him. He's right. I gained a hell of a lot of weight, to like a scary amount. I'm still the same fun-loving guy. I'm still that same kid inside that Mike knows in many ways, but I let things get completely out of hand. So I want to talk today about why it is that happened. What happened to go from that skinny kid to this? Like, it's unbelievable to me, because as I was explaining to a friend of mine at work, I don't see weight unless I look at myself, because I don't see myself very often, because I'm looking straight at you or the person that I'm talking to. So I see them. So in my mind, I'm not that big. But when I look in the mirror, it sucks. It's very horrifying to me. So what got me there? Well, you see, growing up in small town Ontario in the 1980s and 1990s, I didn't have a really good understanding of food. My relationship with food was whatever my father provided, and my father provided what he could. When I struck out on my own, I didn't learn anything about food. I still ate it. I ate out of a can. I ate a lot of pastas. I ate a lot of like craft dinner. And when I was living in Belleville, I lived on welfare, so I didn't have a lot of money. So a lot of it just, you know, kind of stayed the same size because ultimately I walked everywhere, and I didn't have a lot to eat anyway. When I moved to Ottawa, again, same kind of situation. I had a job for a short while, and then I was right back on welfare, and I walked everywhere and so forth. But it started to catch up with me when I was living downtown. One of the houses, I lived in a number of houses downtown Ottawa, but where I got sedentary. I just sat a lot. I was like in a chair like this, on a computer like this, and played a lot of video games. And I'm not blaming video games, because video games have given me a lot of joy in life as well. They've connected me in a number of ways. They've even led me to a degree in anthropology when I wrote about people coming together in groups online versus people coming to groups in face-to-face interaction. But maybe another story. My relationship with food was terrible. Again, on welfare, didn't have a lot of money, so all I could do is afford the pastas and so forth. No fruits or vegetables in my diet. I didn't understand what a vegetable was for the longest time. I thought because tomato sauce came from a tomato, that was healthy, and I was wrong. In many cases. So flash forward to 2001, I met this girl, and I thought it was all that in a bag of chips, so to speak. And I was trying to impress her with cooking and so on and so forth. And I was terrible. I was probably the worst cook I could ever come across. But it was through those failings that I would start to understand food. But I was already beset on a path of being rather lazy. And by that time, I was well over 300 pounds. And I was not very outgoing. I was kind of recluse. I hadn't been with anybody for a while, so I was very timid and shy, very angry at the world as well. I was still going through a number of issues that never got fully cleared up through my teenage years, and I still sucked at cooking. Still didn't understand anything. But Sarah, the girl I very much fell for, saw something and encouraged me to keep going, keep learning. So it wasn't until just a couple of years ago where I finally knuckled down and started reading up on food and what it is we eat, what we put in our bodies to fuel ourselves. And if I would have had that knowledge in my 20s, I don't think this would have happened. Because I thought that fat people got fat because they ate so much. Not because that they necessarily indulged in pizza and burgers and hot dogs all the time, but because they overate, period. And I do eat a fairly large amount of food, unfortunately. And it's not a matter of, hey, why don't you stop? Because your average, this is the average size of a person's stomach. Now my hands are a little bigger than yours, but take your two fists, pop them together, and that is roughly the size of your stomach, roughly. And you should really only be filling that with like half a fist of like meat, and then some like the other half of veg and the other bits of like grains. But anyway, I'm not going to preach about that because that's not why I'm doing this. But taking my stomach, and it's basically the size of a football. So the food that you should be eating and I should be eating will fill you up. Probably overfill you in ways, but might not even dent me. It'll leave me hungry, and that's where I turn to snacks. And I hate that. So I've decided that after a lot of thinking about it, and after some health problems, that it's time that I do something about it. And I know I can't just simply stop eating a bunch of crap, because I don't eat all that much. I'll get to that in a second. Or all that much crap. I do eat a lot of food, but I'll get to that in a minute. Um, I think it's now time that I sought out medical help. That's tough because I always thought of that as a cop out. I've always seen it as quitting on yourself, and that's not what it is. Not at all. I'm not quitting. I'm refusing to quit. In fact, I'm refusing to let myself just wither and die because I don't want to be found by my wife, Sarah, who I met in 2001, who encouraged me to keep pushing and believing in myself. Um, I don't want her to find me dead on the floor one day. And I don't want somebody to basically need a forklift to get me out, or a forklift to get me into a hearse, or out of that hearse. I want to get back to things I miss. And in talking with a lot of people, including people that have done this surgery, including people that are for and against it, this is my gasp. This is my one shot I'm going to have to take at it. So, yeah. So this vlog is going to chronicle my journey. On Monday, so this is now Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days, I go in for my first little meeting about it. I've done a couple of tests, or I've done some blood work to get there. Found out I'm type 2 diabetic now because of my weight. Go figure. I've learned that I have higher cholesterol than I really should. I knew that, but it wasn't too bad, but now it's getting kind of bad. All this stuff is now starting to layer up, that if I don't do something now about it, that if I wait on this any longer, it is going to become a problem. So this will be a vlog that'll talk about all of that. It's going to chronicle my entire journey. I'm going to try and keep at it as frequently as I do something. So this is just the first preamble. Then I'll talk about the info session next, probably Monday. I'll probably record something and then go from there. And we'll go step by step. And my goal, I have 2 goals for the vlog. First one and foremost, God, that's a big hand. First and foremost, it's so I am accountable. So I am beholden to something. And second is, and almost more importantly in a way, but not, it's so if somebody out there is like me, who's thinking about all this stuff, or is getting close to gaining weight and doesn't see a stoppage point, that they have something to look at. Now, I say that with a caveat because I want you to understand that I'm not advocating getting heavier than hell like I am and then going in for surgery. That's dramatic. That's rather drastic. I'm advocating that you don't do that. I'm telling you, stay active. Go outside. Go ride a bike. Go for a run. Pick up a skateboard. Go swimming. Play baseball. Play basketball. Do something other than sit in a chair. You owe it to yourself. And more importantly, you owe it to those around you. I can tell you from experience what it feels like to walk a street with the woman you love and feel nothing but an immense amount of guilt. Because I'm huge by comparison to her. She's tiny. Like, she's she thinks she's overweight. Her doctor thinks that she probably could lose a couple of pounds, but a couple of doctors always think that. Is she huge by any stretch of the imagination? No. She's incredibly active. She runs. She works with children all day long, so she's always busy. She's never sitting still. She's got like legs like tree trunks. She can pick up weight that I can't even imagine. I call her She-Hulk for a reason. It's emasculating, but anyway. I want you to understand that this isn't me saying, get fatter than holy hell. Surgery will take care of the rest. Because that's a risk. Like, I could go down for the surgery and I may not come back up. They're probably going to tell me that I need to lose weight before I can even do the surgery. And that's going to be a fight. And I know it. So, what I'm saying is, don't get here. Do not get to my level. Be better than my level. Go out, play sports, learn about food, pick up a cookbook, for God's sakes. If you think that you can't replicate your favorite meals cheaper than they are where you're getting them and more healthy than what you get them for, you're wrong. One of the greatest things in life is a pizza, right? It takes time to make a pizza. It takes a couple hours to make a good pizza, but it's still better for you than what you get at Pizza or wherever you're getting it from. Learn about your food. Learn about what it is that you can take into your body. So let's talk about what it is I eat. So this morning I woke up. Fridays are not the best example. Fridays are cheat day. But I woke up this morning and I had a fruit smoothie. Basically, that's a bad example. Look at that. It's a green cup. Dumbass. Imagine, if you will, empty water bottle. I don't usually drink bottled water, but yeah. About 1.5 of these in volume of a fruit smoothie. In that fruit smoothie is a cup of almond milk, 3 tablespoons of chocolate whey powder, a full banana, and then a cup of strawberries mixed in with, I think, a half cup of blueberries and raspberries. I think that's all of it. And that's my breakfast. Now, when that isn't my breakfast, it's 2 to 3 eggs and 3 to 4 pieces of bacon with maybe 2 pieces of toast or an English muffin or 2. And I say or 2 because Sundays I treat myself for breakfast with 2 breakfast Sammies, which is 2 English muffins with the same stuff. Just put it in sandwich form. Lunchtime is often leftovers from the night before, or if we make a big meal like chickens or whatever, or roasts. And I always take with me a thing of nuts, usually about this, of nuts. This is, I think, half a cup. 3 ounces. Whatever 3 ounces is, I don't know. 75 mils. So not even half a cup. Quarter cup of nuts. Cashews right now because I love cashews, but cashews have sugar in them. I think it's 2 grams for 75 mils of the cashews I have. That's probably why I'm getting them in that size. And then to take with me 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing because I like making my own dressings. I just like ranch. And a couple cups of raw vegetables, celery, carrots, heirloom carrots right now because they're delicious, cucumber, and bell pepper. And I hate bell pepper. I hate raw bell pepper. Can't stand it. Sometimes I switch out the dressing for hummus once in a while when we make hummus. And then when I get home, usually we have chicken. I think we eat chicken 3 times a week, pork once or twice, and then red meat once or twice. And it's usually like barbecue something, or we'll have like a steak on the weekend, which is rare. We have a steak like every 3 or 4 weeks, burgers every 3 or 4 week kind of idea. Sundays we'll do a big meal like a roast or some pasta or something. So overall, my diet isn't atrocious. It isn't horrible. My current diet. It's actually rather good, but it's almost too little too late. Like, my biggest thing though, my biggest problem is, and this is something I have to come to terms with, is that the weekends are killer for me. Sorry, a little tired on a weird schedule these days, but the weekends are killer for me. They're horrible because Friday nights I like to have a snack. I like to justify a snack. In fact, I would sit here and I would have, there's an empty bottle of whiskey. This bottle of whiskey probably emptied 2 weeks ago. Or I'd have Cider is what you can't show the cans because they're green. I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but I certainly do like a drink. Um, and I think that was part of the problem too. To be honest, is I would like to drink every other Friday, roughly, sometimes every Friday, depending on how I was feeling. And I would eat snacks like chips. Chips are my favorite. I love chips. Or chips and salsa, chips and dip, obviously, or some sort of like sugary snack. And because we are taught as a culture to save money, my wife and I would always go for the sale price items. So we get more than what we actually need. So we feel obligated to devour what we have. So now we got to teach ourselves about healthy snacks and stuff that's not going to kill us. So mostly me, because I don't live a very active lifestyle right now. We'll get there. When I'm out on the road, because I like to go travel a little bit with friends of mine to Kingston, like this weekend, I'll be eating out. So I have to make conscious decisions. Like, don't get the fries. That's going to be tough. Don't get the fries. Fries are sold everywhere. They're every side. It starts with fries. Get the salad or the soup or whatever. Blah. Not crying, just tired. So yeah, that's going to be difficult. But there is a goal in mind that somewhere down the line, that 430-pound me may one day be 200-pound me. I hope so. 200-pound me sounds a hell of a lot better. I don't know if that's going to be like the best or the ideal, but you know, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for 210. 210 is my goal. That's enough to get me on a bike. That's enough to put me in a gym. That's enough to have me go skiing, hiking, all the things I miss. I'm now at a point in my life where the video games can wait. I can always come back to my computer and play whenever. People are always around. They're not waiting on me. So I can walk away from this. And I could even just start riding to work. It is only 3.5 kilometers away. It's not far. Not far by any stretch of the imagination. But in my current state, my current weight, you'd think that it's just simply get off your ass, fatty, and walk, but it's not. I have a bad knee. I have a bad back. I have incredibly terrible stamina. Like just walking from my place to the grocery store, for example. Actually, no, my dentist. My dentist is a good example. Because that's not far at all. That's maybe 0.5 kilometer. I'm gassed by the time I get there. So if I can lose some of this weight and I can move forward in my life instead of backwards, I'm going to be able to change my life. I'm going to be able to reclaim parts of my life that I haven't seen in 20 years. And that's why I'm doing this. So this vlog is going to help me get there. You're going to help me get there. And you know what? Now, if you want to be one of those people that posts on the comments, be like, hey, fatty, lose some weight, fat ass. Go for it. Get your simple-minded aggression out. Doesn't really bother me. I've heard it all. I've probably said it all to myself. So yeah, that's where we leave this. I'm gonna log. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn this off now. I'm going to relax. I'm going to finish the paperwork I need to finish for my session on Monday, and we're going to move forward. And we're going to keep our eyes straight and ahead and on the prize. And yeah,